Welcome back to the Love Talk Show, and by now I believe people can already see that love and mess do not match.
No.
Based on Samuel's story in our previous show, and based on today's story, Mary's story, which we're going to watch in a few minutes, it doesn't work. But before that, before we go into Mary's story, it's time for Dear Love Talk. And it's Dear Love Talk time. We'd like you to send us your questions or any doubt you might have or advice you might need in regard to your relationship, to your marriage, or I don't know, any general questions you might have you'd like us to answer here in this segment. Send us your questions to questions@lovetalkshow.tv, right?
Yes, and intelligent love is learned. You're not born with it. To learn, for you to love intelligently, you need to learn, and you learn by asking questions. So here's your opportunity.
Yeah.
So let's go for today's question.
Yeah.
I am in a serious relationship at the moment, and we really like each other. But there is something that has been bothering me lately. I have a few friends my boyfriend doesn't really like. He says I don't see them very clearly, otherwise I wouldn't keep their friendship. These people have been by my side forever, way before my boyfriend came along. But I find myself always having to choose between being with him or my friends, as he won't go out or even hang out with them. What do I do in this situation? I don't want to lose my boyfriend, but I don't want to lose my friends either.
So as a woman, I would like you to give your input.
Here's the problem, yeah? First, we understand that you've had these friends forever, like she says, and now you have a boyfriend. The first thing that you need to understand before you say, oh, my boyfriend doesn't like them, is why. Maybe he's right. Maybe you don't see them very clearly.
Maybe it's not even the fact that he doesn't like. Maybe he doesn't want to be straightforward and say, you know, you spend too much time with your friends, and it's all about your friends all the time. What about us? What about investing in our relationship? So maybe he's just saying I don't like them, but deep inside it's not just that he doesn't like them, it's because, you know, it's too much, it's overwhelming. Your friendship with your friends, you know, I think now it's a little bit more about us than all of you guys.
Or maybe there are certain things about this friendship that it's not all right, that you don't see. It could also be that, but regardless of the reason, your mistake could be to say, you know, it's fine, I will just go along, you know, I'll just pretend that it's fine. He will change with time. This is one classic mistake people make in relationships. They don't like something about the partner, and they pretend to accept it because they think they will change in the future. So you think perhaps, oh, you know, with time, he will get to accept them, he will get to like them.
Yeah.
Perhaps it could happen. Perhaps not.
Let's say that there's nothing wrong with the friends.
Right.
Let's say it's the boyfriend who wants to hog her. You know, who wants to have her all for himself.
Which also could be.
Which also could be. So we have to see what is going on, what is happening. Once again, you see, we lead people here to reason. To reason. See both sides. What is going on? Is it you who perhaps are way too attached to your friends and he feels a bit suffocated, or he feels a bit left out? Or is it him
who
is too attached, and maybe it's not only the friends, it could be your family in the future. He wants you all for himself, as I said. I don't know. And this is something that we usually see happening with men. Women complain about men, right? Who want to keep their friends, too attached to their friends. But this is one of the few times I see a boyfriend, a man complaining about the girlfriend who perhaps is too attached to her friends. But as I said, we don't know the root, you know, in depth what is happening. It could be both ways. But as you said, if it's him who is perhaps, as I said, trying to control her, then you have to address the issue. if you say, no, I'm not too attached to my friends. I know, very well when to give time to my friends, when to give time to my boyfriend. I'm very balanced. Then you have to confront him and say, listen, why is that? I'm not spending too much time with them. Why can't I sometimes entertain my friends? We're not married yet. We're just dating. Or it could be the other way around, in which you are perhaps way too attached to your friends, and he's trying to have some time with you. He wants to spend time, and you always want to bring your friends along. Let's go to this place. Oh yes, I would like to invite so and so to come with us. So you have to see where you are, what's going on in this relationship, where the fault is, where the mistake is.
Yeah, you need to understand, I think, to see what he sees, to try and understand how he sees it. Why is it that, according to you, he doesn't really like your friends? Because
that's not enough.
Yeah.
To say you don't like.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
So you
reason
understand
behind
it.
that.
Because, well, you'll depend, but both supposedly will be forever. It's not like once you're married, you're going to ditch your friends, or you're going to stay with your friends and pretend you don't have a partner.
You will no longer socialize and not have, socialize with anybody else. That's impossible.
So you're going to have to kind of reconcile both. So it is ideal that, yes, your boyfriend gets along with your friends, you get along with his, so you need to understand. But if he can't be fixed, if he's adamant, or you are adamant about this, then there's only one solution. If this is the case, there's only one solution. Either change your friends or change boyfriends. So you're no longer going to be with your boyfriend, you're going to find another one, or you're going to ditch your friends and find new friends. If that's the situation,
I think a good starter is to ask him, why don't you like my friends?
Yeah.
Understand why. And then from there, make an intelligent decision, talk and see what can be done. Now, as you said, if it's his mistake and he's not willing to compromise, kiss him goodbye. And if it's your mistake and you're willing to compromise and change that, then it's good. You salvage this relationship. But if you're adamant to not change, no, I like my friends, they're part of my life, then you're not ready for a relationship.
Sometimes
it's better for you to have a friendship rather than a relationship, because you're not ready for a relationship.
It could also be, something that we didn't say, that the friends don't like him, make him feel uncomfortable. Maybe the friends are jealous of her, because it could be, so they don't get along because it's like he's a new person, almost of an intruder in your group. So it really is something that has to be addressed. What you can't do is pretend that there isn't that problem and try to keep both. It's not going to work.
No, because she said, I like him very much, I don't want to lose him. That's the mistake that many people make, men and women. Okay, there's a situation, we should address the situation, but if I address the situation, if I confront him or her, I may lose that person. So I might as well just sweep the dust under the rug, pretend it's not there. It's going to come back to bite you right at that place that I don't want to mention. So deal with that right now. Okay? Keep sending us your questions to questions@lovedogshow.tv. So now let's go into Mary's story. Let's see how Mary got into a big mess. Mary, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. So Mary, tell us the recipe to get into a very messed up love life, or relationships in general.
Okay, so as far back as I can remember, I grew up in a one-parent household. So I never really had any connection or communication with my dad. In fact, I grew up most of the time having anger and kind of just disvaluing him for leaving my mum. I never really knew the true story around it, but I knew that my mum was struggled a lot. So I was born in Nigeria, came over here when I was 3 years old. And since the time I came here, I just remember my mum struggling, trying to find work. She came here with the conception that she would start fresh. Everything would be well, start a fresh life, make something of herself. But all I remember is that she went through a lot of hardships, especially with regards to men, really abusive relationships. So when I was around 7, 8, I actually witnessed, and still to today I can remember it, a physical fight between her then partner. And she was in the shower, they were shouting, even, you know, they got physical, and it was just total turmoil. From then on, she had left that relationship, got into another relationship, and again, similar situations. I think the worst time that I can remember is when I was in secondary school, so I think I was around 14 or that age group, and she was with somebody else at that point in time, and it got physical to the point her partner at the time took an axe out and hit her with it. Yeah, physical, knives. I had like stepsisters from the partner's side, and they got involved to stop it from happening, but it was just abusive relationship after abusive relationship. So I didn't have any positivity feelings towards men. All I knew is that when I grow up, I need to fend for myself. I need to make sure that I become really guarded, don't let my guard down, be a tough, strong woman, be very independent. And I even thought that I didn't need men. I thought my mum didn't need men. She went through lots of situations. She got hurt and abused. I didn't need them.
So what was the image in your mind about marriage, relationships?
Oh, I thought marriage didn't exist. I didn't have any positive role models. I thought women could do a man's role, because my mum brought me up and my younger sister and brother, so I thought she can do it, then I can do it. I thought that I didn't even know what love was. I thought it was just having someone by your side, but I didn't really, at that age, I didn't really understand what love was, so I shut down all emotions that I had.
Did your mother say anything to you? Whenever she talked to you about the future, what you should want for your life, what did she say in regards to relationships in general? What was her advice, if I could say that?
Well, she's Nigerian, she comes from an African background, so she still had those kind of principles. You know, you need to make sure that you have a career first, make sure that, you know, you're settled, established, and then you can consider having a relationship. But it was always far down the line, like, you know, you make your life first, and then once you're established, think about a relationship. That's as far as it went. I never actually sat down and had like girly talks with my mum, none of that.
And at what age did you actually get into a relationship with someone?
So I got into a relationship
I'm curious about that. How that happened.
In college. So when I started college, I obviously had new friendships, and the friends that I were with people, with partners, had boyfriends. And initially when I would speak to them, I was more curious at that point, like, okay, so you have a boyfriend, what's it like, this, that, and the other. And to be honest, my first proper relationship was purely, I think, for popularity. I wanted to fit in. I didn't want to be seen as kind of the boring, dull kid who had never experienced a boyfriend. At the age of 17, 18, I knew like friends before had started when they were like 13. So by that age, I was like, okay, I need to just start somewhere. And the person that I was in a relationship with was a minicab driver, someone who dropped me home from out. Yes. So I kind of like...
Was he much older than you?
Very much older, twice my age, and I didn't realise until years down the line. So I was around 18, 19, he was 43.
Oh dear.
Dear me.
Yes.
Where did you meet?
So
he dropped her off.
No,
I know, but it's still.
Yeah,
but
so
you met him the first time you rode his cab,
yeah. So
and then you hit it off just like that. He's driving and hey, what's your name? Give me your number.
That is funny.
That's
very interesting.
It pretty much happened like that. But so I think we went out like to a nightclub, because I still did all the other things like clubbing and stuff, but I kept myself quite guarded. So we went out and then we called a taxi home, and I think I was the last we dropped off. We started talking. I think it was maybe 2 occasions that he had dropped us. And then so we got talking and stuff, we exchanged numbers. And like at the back of my mind, I was thinking, okay, the first person that showed interest in me, that was who I was going to go with, because I didn't want to, like I said, popularity. I didn't want to be the kind of person on the sideline. So I think he was probably the first one to show real keen interest in me. So we exchanged numbers. After that, we met up during the day just for coffee.
He was not dropping you off anywhere,
No,
right?
he wasn't dropping me off anywhere. So we met up for coffee and stuff, but I still kept myself at arm's length with the vivid memories of my upbringing and, you know, all the stuff that I saw my mum going through. So I kept myself very closed. I didn't really open up. And I think because of that, he was quite reserved, because there's a lot of things that were uncovered, but later down the line, but I was really entangled in kind of this relationship.
First of all, when did you find out his age?
Oh, it happened, I think it happened by me going through his phone.
But how long into?
Oh, into the relationship, I think it was 1.5 years.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, and at that point in time, I literally, and not only that he was 43, but that he had 2 kids.
Right.
So that was just like, it was almost like, told you so. Men are, everything that came flooding back, men are like this, men are like that from what I saw from my mum. But then there was another part of me that was searching for kind of the love from a father figure. So I found myself, after I ended that relationship, because obviously 43-year-old, 2 kids, had other commitments, very messy. I ended that relationship, but I didn't end it until I found someone else that was interested in me.
Right.
So I entered my second long-term relationship.
Right after this one?
Right after. Literally right after. I saw someone else was interested in me. I ended that relationship and entered straight into another relationship for 4 years.
I mean, dear me, that cab driver relationship was quite a mess.
Yeah, unusual. Well, could work. It's not because the guy was a cab driver that it wouldn't work, but I think so far, her story...
I've just said the cab driver because he was a cab driver, but it has nothing to do with him being a cab driver. It has to do with him, with his age.
Yeah.
But as she said, she was looking for a father figure after all. That love that she didn't get, you know, from a very early age. Again, no role models, no one to look up to. Where is that love, that male love, male figure in the house? Wasn't there. So.
And it's interesting that you see she had all those ideas, you know, I don't need men, I'm going to focus on my career, I don't care about love at the moment. So she stayed for a while, and her first boyfriend was, you know, when later than most people anyway. And then she waited for quite a while and already started messing up. I think that if you waited, usually wait for something that is worth having, you would be more careful, especially her, because she had all those wrong ideas, all that trauma of not having her father at home. She would be more careful, but then you see that, no.
People seem to like go on a, you know, in a love life spree or rampage for that matter. You know, go one from relationship to another, to another, to another, without thinking, without, and once again, the idea of thinking, something that she did a lot as far as his career was concerned. However, when it came to relationship, it was a big mess. She didn't have, you know, what it takes to, you know, be successful in a relationship. She had everything that it takes to be successful in a career, in a particular career, and she was. But when it came to relationships, when it came to love life, she didn't have it. So she was looking for that fatherly love. She was actually looking to be loved and appreciated, but she did everything wrong. And instead of fixing that problem, instead of getting what she wanted, it became even worse. The mess was even greater.
No, and then you see, the next mistake was, okay, that relationship didn't work, it wasn't what she wanted or expected. What does she do next? Gets right into another relationship without, okay, what have I learned from this previous that I shouldn't repeat in the second? She didn't give herself time for that. So she jumped right into a second relationship, which it was what we talked about in the street chats in the last show. Can never work.
That's right. So we're gonna go for a quick break right now, and when we come back, we're gonna right into the second part of Mary's story. Okay, don't go anywhere.